makes the one-timer. Now a shot, score, a goal, and Massachusetts takes the lead.
That is right. Welcome into another NewMass Minute with Jay and Nate. Jay Burnham, voice of the Minutemen, alongside my broadcast partner, Nathan Strauss, getting ready for hockey this weekend, finally at the Mullins Center. Can't wait. Against Sacred Heart. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. But, Nate, you are freshly back from Sin City, Las Vegas, where UMass was playing in the Icebreaker tournament. How are you doing? How was your trip? And did you have any fun out there?
Jay, I think it was the Cocteau twins who asked, "Is this heaven or Las Vegas?" And I could say it was a little bit of both. It was a lot of fun out there out west, and yeah, it was a great weekend. My first time ever in Las Vegas, and great to see UMass come away with a couple of positive results. You know, the overtime loss on Friday, and then a big win over Air Force on Saturday to end the tournament on the right note.
I never know what references we're going to get from you. You're such a worldly and old soul at the same time. All right, so you take on Omaha, which was a ranked team at the time, really kind of on par where UMass is. UMass now 15th in the nation. But before we get to that game, I heard you guys talking on the radio broadcast about the intrigue and the different type of setting that you were in for this rink and arena. Can you set the stage for us as to where this tournament was played and what the facilities were like?
Yeah, it's just a little weird, a little uncanny. Las Vegas is already this fairly liminal space, right? Like the casinos, the strip, it's all designed to suck you in. This is an arena that's a multi-purpose arena. So it hosts a lot of basketball, it hosts a lot of wrestling and MMA, and it's not necessarily known for their hockey. And you can kind of tell that because the lighting was a basketball lighting. So the goals were actually in more shadow than the center of the ice. And it's this cavernous space. There's no real concourse. So it felt a little empty, a little hollow, and definitely different from, I would say, the typical college hockey atmosphere. But, that kind of made it fun too. It was very much, I think, in the spirit of Las Vegas, the way the whole thing was set up.
Yeah, and it can be tough when you don't have fans really on either side. I think some folks would rather play in front of a raucous crowd, even when they're on the road, versus kind of the spatial emptiness of some of those facilities. But ultimately, you play a tough game against a good Omaha team. The final 90 seconds of regulation, wild. A stick breaks, a ricochet puck finds Idar Suniev with the goalie pulled, and you force an overtime. What were you thinking when you saw that sequence unfold, and how exciting was that to witness live?
I mean, it was a lot of fun. I think, it brought me back to the first game of the tournament last year, the tournament that UMass played in Lake Placid, where, again, they were playing Cornell at that time, who are another NCAA tournament team. You're trailing in that game. You pull the goalie, and you get a Ryan Lautenbach goal to send it to OT. So it's important, I think, for UMass to show the ability to battle back, especially with this young group. This is a much younger UMass team than they were last year. They're one of the youngest teams in the country. So after being outplayed, I would say, for the final 20, 25 minutes, they couldn't really generate all that much on offense. To get that goal was big. Idar Suniev just has a knack for finding the net. Some goal scorers just have that it factor, whatever it is. Like the puck just seems to explode off their stick. Suniev right now, by the way, currently leading the country in goals with 5. And then, I think a good learning moment too, because the giveaway in overtime that ends up on the stick of Zach Erdahl for Omaha, that's the game winner. Suniev's trying to make a play and it comes off his stick. And I think the lesson is, Greg Carvel talked about wanting a little bit more security with the puck, but also he's the kind of player who needs the puck on his stick to make the magic happen. And so he'll create a lot more than the chances that go against him in that way. So getting it to OT, very important for pairwise purposes. And Omaha then beats number 5 Minnesota the next day. So again, a pretty solid weekend from that regard.
And we'll get into the Carve comments here. He said after the game, I'll read the quote. He said, "I'm a little frustrated because I liked our game. And our first period was really strong. Second period, Omaha gave a push, but I thought we got our momentum back. I really liked our game. We just couldn't score on 5-on-5. And you and I know sometimes when UMass wins, he doesn't like the game. And sometimes when they lose, he does like the way they've played. So what did you make of those comments? And I guess that is indicative of kind of how you set things up, where to say, hey, look, they really were able to kind of fight back in this game and dig down defensively.
Yeah, I mean, I think we know that a big thing for Greg Carvel is identity. I think, he likes teams that play to the NewMass identity. And for a young group, I think this team did a really good job of sticking to that on Friday and then on Saturday as well. It was a big test. This is an Omaha team that they had I think five forwards in their lineup who had played over 110 career games going into this game. That's an experienced, heavy group that plays in the NCHC, like one of the, if not the toughest, the joint toughest with Hockey East Conference. So it's it was a real test, I think, to go up 1-0 and then to have it be even for so long. They had to kill 7 penalties, and then the goal they give up is on the power play after a long time killing, and then they give up a goal after Omaha really cycles the puck well in the third period, and then battling back. I think they showed a lot of grit, a lot of commitment, and I really appreciated that from this group. So I'm right there with Greg Carvel. I mean, not that I would differ from his takes, but
Never.
I appreciated the way UMass stuck to the game plan and showed that commitment.
Then to come back the next day, you take on Air Force, you win 5-1, you put that one away. Cole O'Hara gets a couple of goals. We talked about him last week. We're going to talk with him this week. Excited as he now takes home the first piece of hardware this year for UMass in the Hockey East Player of the Week category. But, this is a guy that can really be a difference maker for this team if he can kind of put it all together in his junior year.
Yeah, I think last week rather, Greg Carvel was asked about him in our weekly media, and he said, at a bare minimum, Cole will be an impactful player for us. And if we get the best Cole O'Hara, he'll be a great player for us. And I think this past weekend, Friday, was one of the more impactful games he'll have, even though he only gets 1 assist on the scoreline. I thought he played really good, two-way hockey across all 3 zones. And then Saturday, you got to see the reward, which was, the goals. And Greg Carvel is a big believer in, when you do the right things, the goals will come. When you put yourself in the right positions, when you're doing the right things on the ice and off the ice, the results will come. And, Cole O'Hara spent this summer really putting on weight. That was a big issue for him, trying to get stronger, get in the weight room. And I think you saw that out there. He's played, a confident game. His skating has improved. And then, he's always had the shot and creativity. It's been about, can he get himself into those positions with the puck? And then, he gets that power play goal on Saturday. He gets another goal late on. He's got, a really good shot and vision. I think he's going to have, a really big year points wise, but also leadership wise.
And we'll talk with him in just a couple of minutes. Also, I should mention Lucas Olvestad gets his first goal as a member of this team. And certainly you like to see some of those blue line points. You mentioned it only, 5 goals from the blue line returning from last year. And now you get one from Olvestad. So really an opportunity for him to prove what he can do after being on such a talented Denver team.
Yeah, and I think Greg Carvel and this UMass team has a knack for bringing out a little bit more offense, a little bit more production from players who joined the program who weren't necessarily known for offense at their previous levels. I mean, last year, UMass brought in Samuel Ninasari from Brown, who I think had 2 goals in 88 career games with the Bears. And then in the first month at UMass, he had 1 game with 2 goals. So UMass does a good job, I think, of giving those guys who might have been more two-way men or more shutdown defensemen those opportunities. And it was a great goal too. I mean, the skating was really, really good. He carried it in for the neutral zone and then, finished 5-hole on Guy Blessing. If UMass can get goals from him, I think you knew offense is going to be a big part of the games of Del Elche and Keenan. Getting goals from him and Owen Murray as well, I think will be big this year.
All right, before we get to Cole O'Hara, we've got the home opener finally. It feels like, you've played 3 games all on the road, 2 at neutral site settings. Sacred Heart coming into town, and this is a team that's picked to finish first in the Atlantic. They're a team that provides, you mentioned what Omaha had with some of those guys that have skated for over 100 games. They've got several of those guys. They've got multiple transfers from Holy Cross and Maine. And so this should be a fun, I think, an interesting test for UMass before they get into Hockey East play next week against UConn.
Yeah, I think, two very different programs in terms of how they approach, building a team. I think Sacred Heart has gone all in on the transfer portal, which makes a lot of sense. They've got great facilities, especially relative to their peers in the Atlantic. And the guys they've brought in were contributors at the Hockey East level. At the Atlantic level, they brought in John Driscoll, who is one of the top defensemen in the portal, a really good number 1 D from Army. They brought in Reed Pavich, Felix Trudeau. Those are guys with Hockey East pedigree. Tyler Guerra and Giardosi from Holy Cross. They've got a really good group of players there. And also, it'll be a reunion with former UMass team Mikey Adamson, who spent his freshman year here 2 years ago. So they're a good team. They were picked to finish first in their conference. And I think it'll be a big test for UMass. If they can take care of business on Friday night, how do they keep that energy high on Saturday going into a new arena on the road in the second game of a true back-to-back against the same team for the first time this year?
Martire Family Arena, which opened up January 2023, looks gorgeous. I know you love yourself a rink, no matter new or old. So enjoy that one, partner.
Thank you. I will. I got to test the hot dog. That's what I do. Every new arena, it's just
the
how
rating
good is the hot
system.
dog, and that's how
View
I
lines
rank it in
and
my head.
setting and lighting be darned. It's how are the hot dogs? All right. All right. Well, we'll enjoy your conversation with Cole O'Hara, and I'll check with you down the line.
All right, welcome back to the NewMass Minute. Nathan Strauss here with the Hockey East Player of the Week, Cole O'Hara. Thanks so much for joining us, and congrats on the award. How you feeling?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I know it's a cool reward to earn, but thanks to a lot of other people, thanks to the team. So it's you can't do that alone. It's good.
So I know how hard a lot of guys work in the summer, and a lot of people do different things to kind of stay in shape, get in shape for preseason. What did you do this summer on and off the ice to get ready for this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the step from freshman year to sophomore year, I think wasn't as big as a step as I wanted to take. So this summer, I kind of honed in a lot more things in my game. But I mean, I just think I just got a lot stronger compared to the summer before. But yeah, I think the biggest thing was I put on a lot more weight, which just transferred a lot more to the onto the ice this year.
What's it actually like getting into the weight room in the summer? I know I've seen how hard you guys work and sort of the facilities that you have, but what's that process actually like to put on weight?
I mean, the main thing is just a lot of eating. That's kind of the honestly probably the hardest part is having to eat throughout the whole day. I mean, the workouts kind of almost like the fun part when you're in there with the guys and stuff, but I mean, having to eat throughout the whole day, that's kind of the toughest part. But yeah, when you're in there in the gym with the guys, it's a fun time to, kind of battle through that workout with.
It's been really cool seeing you play this year on the line that you've been on too. What's the chemistry like for you, with the people who you've been playing with, especially knowing that, the guys who you've been playing with are a lot of guys who've, are in your class, guys who you've known for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I've played with, Connors right now. I'm with Lochmellis and Suniev. All three of them are, really smart players. Lochmellis, I mean, easy guy to play with, really high hockey IQ. He's really smart. I mean, Suniev, he's a fun guy to play with. You give him the puck, a lot of times it goes in the net. I played with Connors, Cameron, Jack Musa a bit too. I mean, we have a lot of good players. I mean, you can be with anyone in the lineup this year, and all guys are fun and easy to play with.
I was thinking that, watching you play out in Vegas last weekend was some of the more, I think the word that Coach Carville used was impactful hockey that you've played here at UMass. But when you go back and watch the film of your game, what do you think is noticeable about how you've been playing so far this year?
Yeah, I think my skating's improved, and yeah, I think it's just a little more explosive, allows me to get around the ice a little quicker. But I put on some good weight, so that just helps me in all aspects of my game, holding on to pucks. I'm heavier in battles, and I think when you're able to shine through in those areas in your game, other offensive instincts are just able to kind of shine through and take over when you're winning battles and holding on to pucks a lot more.
UMass is one of the younger teams in the country this year, and that makes you one of the older and more experienced voices on this
Yeah.
team. What have you seen from the freshmen so far, and how have you helped them kind of settle in? Now that we're a couple weeks into the season.
Yeah, I mean, this freshman class, I think it's just as I've seen one of the more mature classes, even though I haven't been here 3 years. But yeah, it's definitely one of the more mature classes I've seen. But I'm just kind of try to relate to my freshman year, and that's kind of kind of the aspect I try to take in terms of helping them along. And I mean, this year our goal was to kind of get the freshmen in as quick as possible and adapt to it as quick as possible. I think in recent years we've taken too long. The freshmen have taken too long to kind of adjust to college hockey. So we've kind of made that our goal to get the freshmen up to pace as quick as possible, and that'll help our team as much as possible too.
What is the hardest thing to adjust to when you jump from juniors to the NCAA?
Just like the strength and speed of the guys you're playing against. I think USHL, it's obviously not the same caliber as college hockey. And then when you take that jump, it's guys are heavier, goalies are better, guys are quicker. So it's just kind of all got to work on your shot a lot more, a lot harder to score goals. And I think there's a lot of aspects of your game you just got to keep working on in order to make that jump.
Now, I've seen the setup that you guys have in the locker room, the ping pong table, everything like that. Who is the best ping pong player on the team?
Um, I'm a little biased because I'm in the top three, but I think there's one A, one B, one A, one B, one C. I think and it's anyone's day, and it's me, Kenny Connors, and Jack Musa. Connors will probably say it's him number one, but I think it's kind of like a coin flip for whoever's winning that day.
Do you guys get into it? Like,
Yeah,
get
it
really
gets
excited
pretty
about it?
intense. Yeah, yeah. We start sweating on that table. So
I've also heard that Bo Cosman has the best aux on the team. Would you? How do you feel about that statement?
he's pretty good. I mean, he's good at it, but not many guys kind of compete for Ox. I don't know. It's not like a role I kind of want to carry my phone around with and always on. But no, Bo Cosm's pretty good. He's good.
I know some guys are pretty superstitious, like, left sock first, right sock first, whatever. Do you have any pregame routines or anything that you do on the ice to kind of lock in mentally, superstition wise?
Nothing crazy. I don't like kind of get into crazy into the superstitions. To kind of just have my routine, and I do that to the same every game day. But no, I don't have any crazy superstitions. I don't really like getting into that.
Last one for you. We're obviously, just a week away from the first Hockey East game. Is there anything different for you when it comes to playing those conference games versus the non-conference games?
Yeah, I mean, hockey is obviously really important. You want to finish as high as possible in the standings, but I think every game is about the same. Like those out of conference games matter so much in terms of pairwise and making it to the tournament at the end of the year. So I think we kind of have the same mindset going into every game. Obviously, it's to win and get those 3 points at the end of the day.
Awesome. Well, best of luck this Friday. Oh, sorry, the real last question. First home game on Friday, first true home game on Friday. How important is it, to play in front of fans, to get that first home game? And what does it feel like for you when take the ice at the Mullen Center?
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal when you have that first game and even every game. I mean, the fans support so well. And yeah, it'll be huge to finally get a home crowd. We've been to a lot of away games this year, so it'll be nice to step out on the ice and hear some fans cheering in the Mullins.
Awesome. Well, Cole, good luck on Friday. We'll talk to you over the course of this year. Congratulations again on that weekly award. And everyone, we'll talk to you next time on the NewMass Minute. And of course, hope to see you at the Mullen Center on Friday.